Hey guys, Steve back here again with a video on factoring and what that is and why we may need to use a factoring company when conducting business. So I copied this here from Wikipedia just as a definition, I guess. But I'm going to get into more detail and explain kind of the ins and outs of factoring and why it's good and why I liked using a factoring company. So factoring is a financial transaction and a type of debtor finance in which a business sells its accounts receivables, for example, your invoices, to a third party. I guess this is called a factor. And they sell these at a discount. So your company is going to sell the factoring company your invoice, let's say it's for $1,000 at a discount. Usually with the company that I used, it was 5%. A business will sometimes factor its receivable assets to meet its present and immediate cash needs. So basically you complete a job, you make the invoice out to whoever you did the work for, and then you submit this invoice along with the other documents that you have that prove that you completed the job to the factoring company, and they will give you cash right away. Well, they'll send the money to your bank account, you could pick up a check, whatever it is. So you get your cash pretty much like the next day. And this is great because it means that you have cash flow and business can continue as normally and you're not digging into your savings to run your business. So in many cases, it may take some trucking companies or brokers up to 90 days to pay your invoice. Now, it usually doesn't take that long, but it can take 30, definitely up to 60 days, and I've seen it up to 90 days. So you're waiting around for that money when you need it for business expense. So if you factor it, you're not waiting, the factoring company is waiting. The relationship that I had was a straight 5%. They didn't hold anything back. Some factoring companies hold back like 10% and what have you, and just depends on your situation, how you want to work things out with them. In order to get paid, the hiring company needs to be approved by your factoring company. So what will happen is, let's say you get a job from ABC Trucking. The factoring company needs to approve ABC Trucking. They would have to have a credit rating or a credit score from that company to pay your invoice. So let's say you see a load from Acme Trucking, and the factoring company doesn't know who these guys are, they're probably not going to factor your invoice. So I'm going to teach you here in a second or show you how that works so you know who you're dealing with before you book a load. So in order to get paid for your invoice, you need to provide them with the order confirmation that you get before you book the load. I have another video coming up that's going to show you what these look like. Your invoice. Now your invoice is going to be made out to not the factoring company, but to the person or the company you did the work for, and a signed bill of lading, or BOL. Also have your own bill of lading. What I mean by that is sometimes the shipper will give you a bill of lading that goes along with the freight, but also have your own made out and get them to sign that as well. So this is where we can get into now the factoring company's other services that they're going to provide to you. So the factoring company should provide you with an online account where you can search for companies approved and or provide details on the payment status. So in the next slide, I'm going to show you what this looks like, sort of. So let's say you register with ABC Factoring Company. You go in, you meet with them, and they say, yes, we will factor your business for you. They're usually going to have a website where you can log in with your company name and your password, and you'll be able to search for companies that you see on load boards and find out the information on them. Do they pay? Do they pay? How many days does it take them to pay? Are they a company that has run off with money and not paid in the past? Because there's a lot of that out there. So that's one of the services that a factoring company is going to provide for you. Just because you see a company name on a load board and you're going to do work for them doesn't mean that they're going to pay. So it's good to work with reputable companies, and your factoring company is going to have a database that you can search out these companies and get more information on them. I personally went with a small factoring company, as I find it's best as you can build a relationship and have more of a personal experience. Like I said, if you need to reach somebody on the weekend, you need, I even had situations where, I said I'm doing this job next week. It was quite a big haul, for example, a long distance, and I needed a little bit of cash up front, so they did that for me. It's just about building relationships where if you go with a bigger company, they're going to have more of strict rules, and you're going to have a representative there, but they're not going to be able to bend the rules so much. Also, in the online database that you have, you're going to be able to see all your invoices that you factored. So it's kind of like a little accounting software too. It kind of keeps everything in one place. So it's a nice feature, and I find it was worth the 5% that I paid. So this is an example of a load again that you'll see on a load board. It'll say 24 feet of deck needed, steel plate forms, 12,500 pounds, going from Miami to Jacksonville. Ready for pickup, call Alice, Joe, or Tom. A phone number is provided, ready now, and it's posted by Acme Trucking. So when you log into your factoring account on the internet, you want to find out if Acme Trucking is a reputable company. Do these guys pay? And this will just take you a second. So you go into your online account. Hey guys, okay, well I've actually logged into the back office of the factoring company just to show you an example of how you can search for brokers that post loads on the load boards. So we can see here a list of brokers. You can click on each one for more information, but it shows you a telephone number and the name. Now first off, I want to show you that some of these brokers or trucking companies do not pay factoring companies. So they'll actually list that does not pay factoring companies. So that means if you do a job for this company here, Day and Night Carriers, they're going to not pay the factoring company. They'll pay you directly. So it shows here the longest outstanding invoice from them, I guess they did factor in the past, was 84 days. Average outstanding was 80. So these guys take a long time to pay. So you might not want to work with them. This next one here, Day and Ross Transport Group, 115 days. We've all heard of Day and Ross, but the average outstanding is 56. That's the average, and they're on their white list. So that means that if you see a job posted on a load board from Day and Ross, you can factor it with this factoring company, and everything's good to go. So let's just do the search here for Acme. I'm sure. Okay, not a surprise. I was going to say I'm sure there's nothing there, but so if that's the case, then you want to pick up the phone and actually call your factoring company and say, hey, I see a load posted on my load board here. It's Acme Trucking. What do you think about these guys? And they can actually go in and do a little more digging and find out some more information. So let's just try over. Okay. I just put over in. There's a lot of companies with over the road, over the mountain, whatever. And let's say you see a job posted by Clover Tooth Manufacturing Inc. They're on the blacklist. So it means do not take a job from this company. Longest outstanding is 141, average 71. So this factoring company will not do business with that company because they do not pay their bills. Now if you see a job by Joe the Mover, 17 days, average outstanding 17 days. So you can see the blacklist, whitelist, etc., etc. I'm just talking about my account here, so you can search invoices, outstanding, broker list, etc., etc. It's pretty cool. Balance, profiles, the account. So there's a lot of tools in here that the factoring company offers you that for 5% of each of the invoices that I factor with them, it's pretty cool. So you can see why it's also important to have an internet connection in your truck, some kind of little dongle that you can plug into your, like a USB connector, so you can get internet wherever you are, and you can log in and check stuff out before you book a load. There you have it. I hope you guys appreciate this video and thought I'd give you some insight into factoring and how it works. And there you have it. Thanks for your time. Please comment and let me know what you think.